Okay, so we're back and I'm gonna do Enhanced Landscape Grasses, which is sort of based on Unbelievable Grasses too. It's by the same author. Um, and it's not the same though, and it says in the description quite clearly that it contains its own unique grass plugin. It's built on my other mod, but it's very different looking. Textures have been optimized and include some plant retextures as well, so if we look at the plants, they might look better. It actually doesn't say what any setting we need for this, which is a little disappointing. I just really don't have any idea where it's going to go. So we're actually going to take a look real quick at the ESP and TS5 edit, and that's going to give us some idea of what we need to set that to get a starting point at least. So it might be the same as... So the first thing you look at, okay, this density here, it's way higher than vanilla, so that means we're also going to set the ini higher, which means less density as well. So it looks like these are pretty similar to Unbelievable Grass, so we're actually going to set the density the same as we would as Unbelievable Grass. The thing is the landscape texture, this is how we know how many grass types per texture. And this is looking the same too, so we're going to go at 50-10, which is the same as Unbelievable Grass. So luckily that's already what we've got it set to somewhere. Yeah, 50 and 10. So we're going to stick with that and hopefully it'll work for us. It may not actually be that different. So again, don't have any mod list besides Vivid Weather's Vivid EMB and a whole suite of bug fixes, which I consider essential to even trying to launch the game. I haven't run Dynaload here. I'm actually not using Enhanced Landscapes itself. The Grass plugin doesn't require Enhanced Landscapes. It's an optional download on the Enhanced Landscapes page, but it doesn't require it, so you can run it independently if you don't like Enhanced Landscapes. Of course, I do strongly recommend Enhanced Landscapes. I think it's a great mod. It really does change how the world works, and I think very much entirely to the positive. There are some compatibility issues with other mods, which can be kind of a pain to patch, but okay, well you can see we've got a thunder weather here, and again, I don't like that because I want a more consistent playing field, so we're going to switch it to sun. You can see we've got some nice tall grass here, which we didn't see with Unbelievable Grass 2. This is actually pretty different. Very different grass here and a lot different kinds. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean the more grass we've got, the more of it is sitting in the road. And this mod doesn't come with the grass landscape tweaks that Unbelievable Grass came from. Not that that seemed to do us much good anyways. It doesn't seem to have those little pebbles, which I think is overall to the positive. I really didn't like those pebbles. And performance is pretty good right now, so I think we do maybe have the right density. Possibly. So let's go ahead and load the reach. And you'll remember Unbelievable Grass had these really lovely bluebells in this area, and was fairly kind of moderately sparse at the same ini setting with good performance. And you can see we don't have any bluebells at all. In fact, we've only got one. We've got two kinds of grass here. It is definitely different than Unbelievable Grass, and I think if you just want a solid green field, and this isn't even the green field version of the ESP, this is the like normal version. So, and the performance is lower. So overall, not that exciting. Alright, let's go to the next location. This place is a place where it overlaps between the reach grasses and the tundra grasses and the forest grasses. It's right in that nexus where those three landscape types mix, and I think we're not really seeing it here. You can see we've got these little ferns and so on, which are from the forest. It just loves to rain here. Go away, rain. And we've got some reach grasses, but overall this looks way more boring than Unbelievable Grasses too, which, you know, if you want boring and green, sure, but it doesn't have any of the pretty little flowers, which is something I really liked. It does have this different kind of flower. It's got these white 8-petaled flowers here, which are definitely something I didn't see in unbelievable grass. But the blue flowers are gone. So it is what it is. Where's next? Tundra. So I think we won't see the blue flower, different kind of blue flowers. Yeah, we see these white flowers. So remember where we were just now? Those white flowers here were there. And we had blue flowers here. So one thing I really like, this is much more red and the grasses are shorter. So I think our density is set a little high here. I think probably, he didn't give any indication of density, so I made a guess. And we definitely see more types of grass here and way denser. But I'm not sure that's all to the positive. Definitely our FPS isn't as low as it was with Unbelievable Grass. We're down to 44 in this spot, if you're recall, and we're actually at 50 now. So it's not so bad, and I think the other thing is that the red color of the grass here, it might not be what you're looking for. So if you like this, but you want a green grass here on the Tundra, you would go for the green field install option, and you could see the distance between the close grass and the far isn't so bad. Again, this is vanilla texture, so you could easily pick a distant train lod texture that matches your grass, and that's something I would strongly recommend. I think it's essential to getting a beautiful install is to match your lod textures, not to your terrain, but to your grass, and that helps mitigate that sharp line you get between grass and no grass. So you can see, got these red plants here. Those were in unbelievable grass, but overall, it seems like we're getting these patches that are kind of like, this is a whole bunch of these green and white plants, and then over here we've got a ton of these red plants, but it doesn't seem to be blending as well, and some of this is just kind of random, but I think overall might not be as well crafted as Unbelievable Grass was. Performance is definitely slightly better, but nothing to write home about. And again, this is like basic, this is just the grass and a performance EMB, so if we're getting crappy performance here, it's not gonna get any better. Like, really, I'm hoping to be well above 60 frames here so that we have some headroom for when we, go into a city that's got a lot of grass like Falkreath or something. Well, this is really something. You can see we've got this ugly snow grass, but it actually doesn't look too bad. This is probably higher res than what I was using with Unbelievable Grass 2, since there are no resolution options for this mod. It's just said it's a nice blend of performance and quality. Well, it probably ends up being a little higher res than we need. So that looks very crisp. And these are definitely grasses that weren't appearing in Unbelievable Grass 2, these ones with the pollen on them. Again, you can see that there's something in that this isn't painted. This was taken from a photo of a real grass and then cut out, which depending upon the look you're going for in your Skyrim might be really great. I personally prefer painted grasses, ones that are designed to look a little less realistic, because I find these super realistic grasses they end up not looking right. They look like a photo slapped into Skyrim, and they don't blend in nicely, whereas a more painterly thing does blend in pretty well. You're never going to get Skyrim to be photorealistic because it's not a photo, it's a game, and you have to work around that gaminess. This looks identical to Unbelievable Grass 2, except we've got these little patches of green here. So that's actually kind of interesting. I'm still not a fan of this. Again, it might be better if you're using realistic aspen trees or enhanced landscapes with the red aspen trees mixed in, but right now it's just a big color difference between the vanilla trees and the grass. So we're just gonna abandon these planets. We don't have anything else to see here. Where are we? That was Iverstead. Go ahead and take a look here. Not too worried about that. That's basically just saying, hey, you made this with Unbelievable Grass 2, and Unbelievable Grass 2 no longer exists. GG. The other saves were made on vanilla. Okay, so you can definitely see here that my overall density is higher than Unbelievable Grass 2, and I do think that's because the density isn't set correctly for this mod, which, again, I made a guess. He didn't provide any information on it, so how are you going to know? So this is a density of 50. Performance is a little low, but again, given the high density of the grasses here, it could just be due to that. If you do want more dense grasses, you're going to have to give it performance. It doesn't matter if you're setting it in the INI, if it's an ESP or whatever. Mods will tell you, oh, we get higher density with better performance. That's not possible. You're always giving it performance for density. So I think this is actually a pretty good balance right here. The grasses are fairly short, which can help with performance. It's fewer vertices. And you can see these little pink flowers that we saw in Movable Grass. Overall, this is the same, just a little denser. And without the grass tweaks to help it from clipping through the house. So we just got a few more places to look. We're going to look at the swamp, solitude, and then the snowy area. And then we'll be done with this mod. You know, vanilla doesn't look that bad as far as texture. So honestly, the real problem is oftentimes the meshes. Okay, so this is really close to vanilla. Actually, it's got two kinds of grass here, so there are twice as many types of grass as vanilla. We lost those ugly carrots, wild carrots or Queensland's lace, whatever those were, and I'm okay with that because they were ugly. But we haven't replaced them with anything, so this is really just kind of bland. Performance here is a little lower than vanilla, nothing bad. Again, this is a pretty low performance spot, so I think we're okay as far as that, but like, if we are losing performance compared to vanilla, and we're not really getting anything for it. I'm not really a fan. Like, it's okay. It's not neither positive or negative, it's just the same. So again, if you liked the other aspects of this mod, don't let this stop you, but if you were like, nah, I really like this other mod, that's not going to be the part that changes your mind. Oh, this actually looks pretty nice. This is near Solitude. And actually, I think this spot always looks nice. So this is definitely denser than Unbelievable Grass. And this looks really similar to Riverwood, actually. We've got these little polleny things and these little white flowers. So nothing here we haven't already seen, but I do think this looks nice. Unfortunately, these little polleny flowers, like I said, with this photorealistic picture here, I don't think it really adds anything. I forgot to be taking screenshots. I gotta record the frames. Anyways, I don't think it really adds anything. I think it actually looks a little odd, so I think Unbelievable Grass 2, which didn't have those, would definitely win in this spot. And since that's the parts I like the best, I think if I'm really trying to pick a mod, I would pick Unbelievable Grass 2 over the Enhanced Landscape Grass, which is unfortunate for those of you that don't have it. Okay, and again, we can see this really dense grass here, and here we've only got, this looks like two types of grass here. So definitely a little more samey than Unbelievable Grass 2, which is something we've seen consistently through this mod. There's fewer types of grass here, less uniqueness compared to vanilla, but higher density compared to Unbelievable Grass with the same INI setting. So, and the performance is a little better. So I definitely think if you want kind of an even look with better performance at higher density, it looks like this is the mod to go for. If you want more variety, then it looks like you might want to track down a copy of Unbelievable Grass 2. And even at the same default resolution settings or the low resolution, I think Unbelievable Grass 2 is going to look pretty similar in terms of the individual grass. So that's that. And I think next up we're going to try the crowd favorite, which is Verdant.